You're watching the TBA Member Spotlight Series. Each episode, TBA President Michelle Greenway-Sellers has a virtual sit-down with members from across the state to check in and chat about topics of importance to the Tennessee lawyer. On today's episode, Michelle speaks with Terica Smith, Assistant District Attorney for the 26th Judicial District and the President of the TBA's Young Lawyers Division.
I am pleased to recognize and introduce Terica Smith. She is an Assistant District Attorney for the 26th Judicial District in Jackson, Tennessee. She's a graduate of Tennessee State University and the University of Memphis Cecil C. Humphreys School of Law. Terica is the current president of the Tennessee Bar Association Young Lawyers Division. She served in several leadership positions within the TBA, including the T-Ball Steering Committee and the Strategic Planning Committee. Thank you, Terica, for joining us today.
Thanks, Michelle, for the invitation.
For our members who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am, like you said, an assistant district attorney. I am a mother to a 13-year-old, and I was born and raised in Jackson, and I am currently back home working in Jackson. I would call myself a public servant, one of those that just likes to help and lead and bring about change in the areas that I can.
Okay. And what type of work do you do at the DA's office?
So I'm in child support enforcement. I am the child support DA. There are a lot of people that hate to see me coming, but I work really hard to ensure that children and families in our district receive the support that they need. So it's sometimes tough work, but it's rewarding.
I've heard that individuals who owe child support don't like to see you coming.
Yeah, there have been Facebook posts about it and all kinds of things, but I just, I try to be fair, and I'm passionate about my job. So yeah, that's probably why they hate to see me coming.
I think that's great. How have you and your colleagues navigated providing legal services during a pandemic?
It's really been tough. So like I said, as an assistant DA, I serve the public. I represent the state. So the biggest challenge, once you kind of get past the just fear and the changes that come with it, was technology. And what we had to really be creative in how we serve the public, using social media to send out information, being available with emails and phone calls, and has really helped how we provide services. A lot of times, we've done some really unconventional things, allowing people to come into the office to do kind of agreed orders. So it's just being available and meeting people where they are. A lot of times we've had to, when clients need to bring paperwork or provide proof to us, taking pictures of the paper may not have worked in the past, but now it's working. So we're just really trying to be flexible.
Doing what you can.
Yes, it's really hard, but just trying to just do what we can and serve people as best we can has been, the main goal.
You mentioned that you have a 13-year-old, and knowing you, I do know this. And can you tell me a little bit? I know that he's been doing virtual school. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how that's been working.
So that has been an adventure. If one way to describe it, it's totally been an adventure. So he has not gone back to school in person. And so we've been doing it from home. I had to stay positive about it, right? And just let him know I was excited about it so that he could be excited about it. I tell people I'm in 7th grade all over again. We sit at the table together and I'm listening to his classes and his teachers, and they're talking about genetics and, the things in history. Right now they're reading The Giver, and just listening to what the teachers are teaching and then being able to relate to him and talk to him about it has been great. I think he actually enjoys it so much more now. He's in STEM, and his STEM teacher taught a whole lesson on the Oregon Trail, which is a game we played on the computer when I was in middle school. And we talked about that, and he found a version online and we played it together. So him being virtual has allowed us to, spend time talking about what he's learning. I feel like I am really a part of what he's doing every day, even more so than before. So it's been really great. It's been a balancing act, trust me, but it's been great.
Well, I'm sure it's been a balancing act because you are working full time,
Yes.
you are helping with schoolwork,
Yes.
and you are the president of the TBA YLD. So
Yes.
you're juggling lots of things and balancing lots of things this year.
Yes. Oh, yes, but it's even funnier. One thing you left out is like I'm a short order cook, because he wants me to make sure he has like a hot breakfast and lunch when he's on lunch break. It's been, amazing. But yes, I'm all of those things.
You are a short order cook too.
Yes.
Well, I have seen you be very positive about the virtual schooling, and I think that's great. That keeps him, I'm sure, very grounded and keeps him positive about it. And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
And I commend you for being able to juggle all this during a pandemic.
Thank you. There's some days that I'm not sure, which way is up, but in the end, it all kind of gets done somewhere or another.
And I didn't even know you were a short order cook. I didn't even know about that part of it.
Just let me know what you need. I'll bring it over. Just send your order in. I'll cook it up.
Oh, so you have served in several leadership positions in the TBA. Tell a little bit about your TBA involvement and why you've stayed so active.
So it started when I was president of the local bar Young Lawyers Division. So I was an affiliate rep to the TBA, and I got to attend the meetings and really see the great work that the TBA was doing. And after my tenure as the Jackson-Madison County Bar Association's Young Lawyer President, I sought out ways to continue to serve through the TBA. So I served on the diversity committee for several years and the YLD, and helped with the Diversity Leadership Institute. And so that really allowed me to reach out to law students and provide leadership programming for the students that were coming through. So I did that for several years. Then I went through the Tennessee Bar Association Leadership Law Program. And that was great. I learned so much, made so many connections through the state. And after going through the class, I was asked to join the steering committee. And so I've been serving on the steering committee since 2014. And just being able to bring lawyers together from across the state, listen to the issues, talk to attorneys about the things that they are seeking in their law practice really has kept me motivated to stay involved with the TBA. And then I had the opportunity to run for president of the YLD, which just has been great, because meeting new young attorneys and working hard to serve the bar and the community has been very, very rewarding. Attorneys, we have tough jobs. We deal with a lot of issues, and just being able to ensure that attorneys stay strong and supported has been kind of a passion of mine.
I always tell people that some of my best friends that I made in the TBA YLD, and they have remained my friends throughout my career. And that was because we enjoyed each other, and we got to know each other through the programs and volunteer work and things that the TBA YLD does so well.
And and that's even true for me. If I need to make a connection with someone in Knoxville or Chattanooga, I know someone. I have their cell phone number, and we can text and talk about it. But for the TBA, I wouldn't have those connections, and so that's really opened up my kind of my world a whole lot more within my profession. And you're right. It's been great bonding experiences, and it's just been fun. I've enjoyed it.
I agree. I enjoyed it myself, and I always encourage new lawyers to join the TBA YLD and get to know lawyers from across the state.
Yeah, I do too.
They'll help you throughout your practice. They'll help you in your daily life, and you'll really get a lot out of it.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share about why it's important to get involved in the Tennessee Bar Association?
I think, the TBA is such a well-respected organization, and the TBA has a voice. And so I say being involved ensures that you're heard and that the TBA can be an advocate for you in your profession. And so that's why I always encourage people that there's so many great member benefits. We talk about those all the time, but if I never use any of the tangible member benefits that the TBA offers, I still receive so much benefit from just the relationships. And that just enhances my practice. I have, I can talk to my family, my parents all day about the tough day I had. But sometimes when you can talk to another lawyer who understands the small details of the challenges, that's helpful. And I found that in through my membership with the TBA. So I just encourage everyone. It will enhance your profession.
What has been your focus this year as YLD president?
So this year, I've really wanted to focus on service. And my main goal is a whole lot of public service, right? And so that would have meant us getting out into the community and doing things. Well, this thing we're going through, I think, what is it called? A pandemic, has prevented us from doing a lot of that. And so we've managed to kind of pivot. That's another word that's come up a whole lot in this pandemic, but we've pivoted to doing some online public service. So usually we have our high school mock trial competition. We're still doing that. It's virtual. It's via Zoom. So we're excited to still be able to have the high school students compete. This year we have 68 teams competing, which we've never had that many, that I don't think. But that's been great. But my major focus has been what I call just adulting. And what it is a website. It's justadultingtn.com. And it's a website for young adults to talk about their kind of rights and responsibilities of when they turn 18. And we cover topics such as criminal law, drunk driving, paternity issues, child support issues. We let them know about this selective service, driving, all kinds of things that young adults, need to know about. And our focus is to reach high school seniors, college freshmen, and, educate them on their rights and responsibilities.
Those are great projects, Terica.
Thanks.
The mock trial, you're still looking for volunteers?
We are. We really need a lot of volunteers. We're going to have our preliminary competition February 19th through 21st, and then we're going to have the final rounds in March. So I encourage everyone to check the TBA website to sign up to volunteer.
One of my platforms as president involves highlighting and improving diversity within our profession. And as a community leader and a bar leader, what more can we do in our profession to champion diversity and move the needle on actual improvement in the profession?
First, I would say be the change that you want to see. I know that's all that phrase floats around a lot, but if you want to see change and you want to see diversity in the bar increase, you have to kind of seek it out and look for it. And so I encourage people to get to know someone that you may not usually would approach. Go outside your bubble, go outside your circle, and get to know people that are different from you. And there's so many ways to look at diversity, right? I think a lot of people kind of think about like race, but there's so many differences out there, right? There's age and gender and sexual orientation and all of those things. And that's what makes this world great. So I think lawyers, we have a duty to be the change that we want to see. We stand up in the courtroom and argue cases all day. We should be champions for diversity in the same way. So that's what I think about it.
Okay. What do you see as the Bar Association's role?
Be an example. I think we have to, make efforts to move that needle. We should, where we see that the profession is lacking, we have to go and support it, right? And bring in and encourage diversity and educate, the profession about things that they may not be aware of, that we all have blind spots. And so I think the Bar Association is just responsible to ensure that the bar represents the greater community.
Is there any advice that you would give to a new lawyer entering the profession?
Yes. I tell young lawyers, what, work hard. That's the first thing. Work hard. But the other part I always say is ask questions, right? Nobody knows everything. So I encourage young lawyers to make sure you ask questions about what you don't know. And nobody will look down on you for that. Because I tell people that once I became a lawyer, the curtain was kind of pulled back. And I realized that, that there are lawyers who've been practicing for years that still ask questions and don't know all of the answers. And so, I encourage young lawyers, don't be afraid to ask. If you're not sure where to go, where to sit, what to file, ask someone. It will save you a lot of heartache. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's great advice. That's great advice. Anything else that you would like to tell the listeners today? Anything at all?
One thing I will say, it has truly been a pleasure to serve as president of the Young Lawyers in Tennessee. I've met, like I said before, I've met so many people, but it's also great to be kind of be that ear for young lawyers and listen and, be the voice for them on the things that are challenging them. And this, I would say year, it has been a year, at this point that we've been in this pandemic, but it's been tough for a lot of people in a lot of ways. And I am thankful for the ability to be that voice and listening ear for young lawyers and the Bar Association. And so it's been great. And I truly appreciate, you guys wanting to put the spotlight on me. And so thanks.
Well, of course, we want to put the spotlight on you. I would like to thank you for your service to the bar. You have served as Wildy president, not just for a year, but for over a year, a little over a year.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could tell me the exact amount of time, over a year.
I try not to count it because then I probably lose a little bit of my sanity. But yeah, it's been, I think I started right in February of 2020. And so yeah, we're right here at a year, and I still got through June to go. So
And I would like to thank you. You always step up anytime you're asked to do something. You've been on the T-ball steering committee. When I asked you to be on the strategic planning committee, you didn't hesitate at all, even though that takes time away from your son. It takes time away from the rest of your family, your own personal time. You didn't hesitate. You always volunteer your time for the profession, and I want to thank you for that. It means a lot.
well, you're welcome. I want to leave, just in general, I want to leave things better than when I got it, right? And so that's how I want to leave my mark on the world. So I want to serve and help. And so that's why it's easy for me to say yes.
Well, you're doing a great job, Terica, and I thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you.